Hey everybody, welcome to Basement Movie Room. It's Friday Night Reviews, and we are on to a brand new trilogy, the Val Kilmer trilogy. Now you may say, why Val Kilmer? Why not Val Kilmer? That's what I got to say to you. So, Val Kilmer, has worked in a number of decades at this point. Top Gun in the 80s, some movies in the 90s, some good, some bad. Tombstone, Batman was kind of terrible. But today we watch Spartan. Now, Spartan's probably a lesser known Val Kilmer film from 2004, directed and written by David Mamet. So we watched that. I had watched it when it came out. You said you probably had seen it.
Yeah, I think I've seen bits and pieces of it when it came out, but it's been a while. Yeah, obviously.
But nonetheless, basically Spartan follows a special ops guy played by Kilmer. His name's never really said in the movie other than Scott. I think his name may be John Scott, which is some uninspired naming, to be honest. But basically, you find out at the first of the movie that he's like a trainer for special ops guys. Derek Luke's also in this movie playing a role as a guy he's training. You recognize him from things like Friday Night Lights, the movie. And so he's training him at the first, and then you find out that he's being called in because what happens is the president's daughter is kidnapped. She's played by Kristen Bell, which you don't catch on to at first. I didn't recognize her in the picture at first, to be honest, until a little while later.
Yeah, it looked like a young Hillary Clinton.
Yeah.
In those pictures.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Not Chelsea Clinton?
Not Chelsea.
So, essentially, he goes on a mission to find the president's daughter. And you have some other recurring characters in the movie. William H. Macy is in it. Ed O'Neill in it as well. Al Bundy, which, he's always going to be Al Bundy to me, at least. So
Agent Coulson.
Agent Coulson. Clark Gregg is in this.
X-rated Coulson.
He disappeared about halfway through the movie, though. It's all of a sudden, William H. Macy comes in, Clark Gregg's gone. Yep. No more Clark Gregg. We don't need Clark Gregg anymore. So, basically...
Was he replaced?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe. Ed O'Neill comes in, Clark Gregg is gone.
Something to look into.
Yeah. Clark Gregg is gone.
Because, that was odd.
Clark Gregg got to drop his F-bombs in this movie. I'm sure that made him feel good since he was about to do a bajillion Marvel movies about 5 years after this. So Spartan follows kind of the mission, and there's some fake outs. The story of this movie is great. I mean, I thought it was great.
Story was good.
Story's good, but the acting is not great. Val Kilmer feels very stilted throughout the movie. I don't know if it's the dialogue. I tend to move towards it being the dialogue. Mamet's obviously a playwright originally, so I feel like it's the dialogue more, because it's more play dialogue. Glengarry Glen Ross had great dialogue. You've never seen that, have you?
No.
Glengarry Glen Ross is an all-time classic of dialogue, but it's built more like a play, so I think it works better. This movie's built more like an action thriller, so I think the dialogue is not great. Val Kilmer says some very odd things in this movie. He doesn't make sense some of the time, and I think sometimes it's on purpose, but he feels very stilted. And Val Kilmer's a better actor than what this movie shows, in my opinion.
It's almost like they read off the script and went right into the scene. Or, like I mentioned to you during the movie, it's like watching Saturday Night Live when they're reading off the
cue
screen.
Cards.
And
Cue cards are a teleprompter.
Yeah, they're reading their lines off of that, and it's bad.
Yeah, it feels stilted. Everybody in the movie pretty much feels stilted, except Kristen Bell. She doesn't come into the movie proper. You see her in pictures throughout most of the movie. She doesn't come into the movie proper until about an hour and 15 minutes, hour and a half of the movie.
She's got last
30
minutes left. Of the movie.
So she doesn't come in proper, but she's great. She's really great. And
is she great, or is everything else that bad?
Okay, she's just better than everybody else.
She's better than everybody else.
I think she's actually good.
She had really good emotion.
Yeah, she's emotional.
She delivered her lines with emotion.
Her part worked.
Everybody else is just like, nah.
And she's playing off Kilmer, who says almost nothing in the scenes with her. He does punch her, however, so we're continuing the punching women theme that we've had in these. Nick Cage has punched a woman. Val Kilmer has punched a woman. We do not condone these actions.
No.
But it's becoming a theme in our trilogies.
Yeah.
So, whatever trilogy we do next, will we have a woman punch? Maybe not. We'll
Maybe
see.
a woman will punch
I
a guy.
don't think we will, honestly. We're not going to announce what we're doing next
Yeah.
yet because we got 2 more Kilmer films to go. But I think you're going to like it. No women punching, probably. But yeah, he just hauls off and punches Kristen Bell right in the gut. She recovers awful fast from that gut punch, though.
Yeah, well, she was drugged up.
Yeah. So I mean, the movie has a nice story. It has nice pacing. There's some really odd cuts in the movie. I think the editor maybe was covering up stuff, possibly. I don't know. But that one scene with the Secret Service agent. That scene.
Right.
We talked about that and how like Kilmer goes in after him, and then all of a sudden it cuts. Bobby Kennedy. Yeah. Looks like Bobby from 13 Days. Yeah, looks like Bobby Kennedy from 13 Days. Yeah. So there's a weird cut there where it's like, why did we need to cut there? Was there a mistake? Did Kilmer not come in right? It's like the Liam Neeson movie, whatever, where one of the Taken maybe, where he jumps over the fence and there's like 16 cuts because he's too old to jump over a fence. He can't do it, so they had to cut it like 16 times. Right. The cut makes no sense. There's lots of that throughout the movie. I think it has some weird shots, and I don't know for sure.
Very choppy in spots.
Yeah, I don't know for sure if this was David Mamet's first directing movie. I think it might have been, maybe not.
It makes sense.
But if it was, it makes sense because I think some of the cuts don't make sense in the movie. They're too jarring.
Yeah.
And then there's some shocking parts, like one character just dies all of a sudden. They've been a mainstay throughout the whole movie, working with Kilmer.
Yeah.
And like I made the joke that nobody that works with this guy is going to live, and it pretty much happens that way. Nobody.
Yeah. Kilmer turned the corner, and the guy.
Yeah. I mean, dead, just out of nowhere. And I remember that from the first time I watched it. I remember that shocking moment, and like I didn't remember it when it happened. I was like, oh yeah, that's right. I was really shocked about that the first time too.
And a lot of times, like the score can help with those type of moments.
Yeah.
The score in this movie was terrible.
It's real bad. It's not great. Yeah, I didn't like it.
The score was. It didn't build any emotion. It didn't build up any of the scenes that could have been better.
And some weird sounds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was almost like bagpipey at times.
Yeah, the score was weird.
Yeah, it was.
Mark Isham, isn't that who we kind of watched the credits to find out because we were like, this can't be somebody we've heard of. I don't know Mark Isham. He may have done some great scores, but this one was not great.
I'm a big scores guy, and I like the build up with the music and the emotion that goes along with it.
Yeah.
And that,
like Braveheart, great score.
Yeah.
Like Gladiator,
anything,
great score.
John Williams, John Horner,
yeah.
Barry, a lot of those guys know how to really
Howard
grab
Shore,
you
all those guys.
They know how to grab you emotionally, and this just didn't.
No, the score didn't add to the movie. It almost takes away in places, to be honest, because it's so weird
and non-existent.
Yeah. There's sometimes no score. Yeah. But yeah, with the acting, all that, it's not great. But I think it's worth watching because it's got a good story. It's not a story that you probably haven't seen before, but I think it's well executed overall, except for the dialogue. Like when there's no dialogue and there's kind of action scenes, they're pretty good.
Yeah,
pretty good action scenes.
The story throughout was good. Keeps you intrigued.
Yeah.
Pretty typical ending and all that, but I could see this as being a movie that would be a good remake.
Yeah, it wouldn't be bad for a remake. Well, this guy kind of has been remade, like Taken is basically a similar story.
True.
I mean, it's a very similar story because there's like the human trafficking element in this movie that comes out. I mean, it's not even a spoiler. You figure that out in like the first half hour of the movie that it's human trafficking that they're dealing with.
Yeah, very similar. Right.
Yeah, so Taken is technically a remake, and Taken's very good. It's better than this. I would rate Taken above.
Better score.
Yeah, better score. Probably better dialogue. I mean, there's not much dialogue in Taken, to be honest. But
it's probably better than that.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, I remember liking this a lot more the first time I saw it, and that was in 2004 when I was a lot younger. I was 24 years old at that point.
Val Kilmer was still pretty
Yeah, this is probably like the end of Kilmer's prime.
Yeah.
Is the thing. He was going to go downhill. He had health issues. He's had health issues over the last 5-6 years. So, I wish him the best. I love Kilmer.
Yeah.
He's great. He's been great. But
so many good parts.
Yeah. So
he's a good actor. I mean, this goes to show that writer, director doing the same thing.
Yeah.
And trying to make these actors do what they want doesn't pull the best acting.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, and I do think this did suffer from the fact that Mamet had never really, at least as far as I know, never really written something as large scale as this. He was more intimate type pieces, like playing Gary Glenn Ross, which takes place pretty much, if I recall, I haven't seen it in a few years, in just an office. Like one office with like 6 desks. Mm-hmm. Alec Baldwin comes into that movie and is just a firecracker in that movie, and it's so great.
Yeah. And
the dialogue's like punchy.
What's the coffee? What's the
Yeah, the coffee.
Yeah.
Coffee is for closers.
For closers.
Cookies are for closers.
yeah.
Hot bus, baby.
Not bad.
No, I enjoy the movie.
Yeah.
It's stilted a little bit in times, but overall it moves at a good pace. It's interesting. It keeps you interested. It's not like I got bored and was falling asleep through this one. It just has some problems.
It does.
Yeah.
Lots.
So what is your rating?
We're going out of 5.
It's up to you. You can do whatever you want.
Yeah,
I do 5 stars. We've been doing 5 stars. I do 5 stars. I only use half stars.
I do a point.
You do a little bit more.
Yeah. So I have to go with a 3.1.
3.1. I was going to go with a solid 3, so we're right around the same area.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was just going to.
So you're lower than.
I'm not to the 3.5. I don't feel like I can give it 3.5 because of the dialogue. If the dialogue was good in this, it'd probably be a 4-star movie for me.
Yeah.
Because and maybe the dialogue is good. Maybe it's the acting that's the problem. But the dialogue just feels stilted.
Yeah. The acting, the score was a big problem for me.
I think
the
we
story all throughout though was good.
Yeah, and the pace is good
in
the movie. But I think we had an issue with the director not doing enough takes, possibly. And it's not my place. I don't make movies. I make YouTube videos.
Yeah.
But it's like, I think the pacing was good. Everything was good, except they probably could have used a little more time with the scenes.
Yeah.
Basically, a couple more takes, maybe. Kilmer was definitely stilted. Everybody was pretty much stilted, except Kristen Bell. She sounded great. She sounded perfect for what she did. But I think she had an easier time.
This is one of her first gigs.
It's early on in her career.
Trying to make a name for
herself. It has to be early.
And she's like, screw it.
Yeah.
I'm getting emotional on
this. Yes. It reminds me of like...
Because you got a lot of...
Early Reese Witherspoon. I don't know if you've ever... seen the movie Twilight with Paul Newman, not the vampire movie, Twilight with Paul Newman. Reese Witherspoon is in that movie very minorly, but is very good in it because it's one of her earliest ones. She's also topless in it, by the way, so if you want to look at that. Yeah, Mr. Skin would have told you that at some point. Yeah. But yeah, so I mean, if you want to see a great movie, Twilight's a great movie that most people don't have a lot of respect for, but I really love Twilight.
We're gonna review Twilight next.
Not the vampire film.
That one, no.
Twilight's great,
but maybe.
Yeah. Oh. But if it was one of her earlier roles, she would have a lot more going to make this. Hey, I need this for my role,
Yeah.
But yeah.
Same. It might have been the same case here.
Yeah.
3 stars. She was very good. Yeah, 3
stars. 3.1.
3.1.
And that's Spartan. Check it out. I do say check it out though. I mean, I think it's worth watching. I think it's well worth watching.
Yeah, I would check it out for sure.
All right.
Oh yeah, William H. Macy.
Oh yeah, yeah, he's in that.
Yeah, he
has 6 scenes with 0 dialogue.
Yeah, I think he collected a paycheck.
Yeah, he doesn't have much to do. He is part of the end of the movie, but he really doesn't have much to do.
I honestly think that he took over Coulson's
spot. It seems like it. It seems like it.
Yeah, because he just showed up.
Yeah.
So
All right, well that's Spartan, and this has been Basement Ruby Room. I'm Chad.
And I'm Jared.
Have a good one.
Where's the girl?
Sir, we believe she was abducted, that she was taken to a bordello.
Here in Boston?
She may have been delivered for sale, sent down the pipeline and overseas.
To get to her father.